The sound of breaking glass snapped through the quiet suburban evening like a gunshot. I froze at the bottom of the staircase, heart hammering. My mom stood in the kitchen, her trembling hands clutching the edge of the counter. The wine glass she'd been holding seconds ago lay shattered across the tiled floor. Red liquid, Merlot, bled slowly toward her bare feet. "Mom!" I whispered. Her head turned, eyes wide, wild, like she'd seen a ghost. For a moment she didn't speak. Then in a shaky voice she said, "Your father's on his way home. We need to talk before he gets here." That was the moment I knew something was wrong. Deeply, terribly wrong. It had been a strange week already. My parents' 20th anniversary was coming up, and Mom had been on edge. She kept her phone face down, started taking long walks alone, and smiled too much, those brittle smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes. Then there was the package. A small velvet box that arrived 2 days ago. I caught a glimpse before she hid it in her purse. Man's watch. Expensive. Engraved. But it wasn't Dad's brand. That small detail gnawed at me. Now, standing in the kitchen, I watched her carefully gather the glass shards with shaking fingers, her wedding ring glinting under the light. "Mom, what's going on?" I asked again. She let out a slow breath, eyes glistening. "I was going to wait. I wanted it to be special." She swallowed hard. "But I think the truth should come from me." I felt my stomach twist. The truth about what? She stared past me, at something only she could see. "About the man you call your father." The clock ticked. Somewhere outside a dog barked. I felt the air drain from my lungs. "What are you talking about?" I laughed nervously, but my voice cracked. "What does that even mean?" She leaned against the counter as if her body could barely carry her guilt. "I met someone before your father and I married. I thought it was over. But last month he reached out. Said he needed to see me. Needed to tell me something." Her words blurred into white noise. I felt like I was falling into some invisible pit. "So what?" I muttered. "You're saying you cheated." Tears streaked her face. "Not now. Not recently. It was before you were born." My pulse quickened. The ground beneath my feet didn't feel solid anymore. "What are you saying?" She reached for my hand. Pulled away. "I had a DNA test done," she said softly. "I got the results today." I took a step back. "Mom, don't." Her lips trembled. "He's your real father, Liam. Not the man who raised you." For a long moment, neither of us spoke. I could hear the low hum of the refrigerator, the ticking clock, the faint sound of my father's car pulling into the driveway. Then the words tumbled out of me, broken, frantic. "You're lying. Why would you do this now? Why would you even tell me?" "I didn't plan to," she said. "But he's coming. He wants to meet you. And I can't keep pretending anymore." I stared at her, the woman who raised me, the woman who kissed my scraped knees and sat through my nightmares. And for the first time I didn't recognize her. The front door opened. My father's voice echoed down the hall. "Hey! Smells like dinners." He stopped when he saw us. Mom's face crumpled. "Ellen," he said slowly, eyes narrowing. "What's going on?" Silence stretched between them, taut as a wire. "I told him," she said, her voice barely a whisper. My father blinked. "Told him what?" She turned to him, tears spilling. "That he's not yours." The world seemed to stop. For a heartbeat, my father didn't move. His face emptied of color. His jaw tightening until it looked carved from stone. "What did you say?" I could hear my own breathing, ragged, uneven. My father's eyes darted from me to her, disbelief turning to rage. "You're joking," he said hoarsely. "Tell me you're joking." Mom sobbed, reaching for him. "I'm so sorry, Mark." He shoved her hand away. The sound of it, a sharp slap of skin against skin, echoed louder than the broken glass. "How long?" he asked, voice trembling. "How long have you been lying to me?" 20 years, she whispered. "But I didn't know until recently. I swear." He turned toward me, eyes wet and hollow. "You knew." I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. I just found out. He staggered back, clutching the wall. 20 years, he muttered, almost to himself. 20 years raising another man's son. The next few minutes blurred together. My mother sobbing. My father pacing. Me standing there, caught between them, drowning in the chaos of their choices. I wanted to run, to scream, to wake up somewhere else. But the truth clung to me, heavy and cold. Finally my father stopped pacing. He stared at me, eyes full of something I couldn't name. "You're still my son," he said quietly. "I was there when you were born. I held you before she did." His voice cracked. "But I can't look at her anymore." He grabbed his keys and walked out the door. Mom collapsed onto the floor, sobbing into her hands. And I just stood there, numb, staring at the shattered wine glass. 2 weeks later the man showed up. He looked nervous. Gray hair, suit too formal for the occasion, eyes that mirrored mine in a way that made my stomach twist. "Liam," he said softly, offering a hand. "I'm Robert." I didn't shake it. He sighed. "I didn't mean to ruin your family. I just needed to know you existed." "Congratulations," I said bitterly. "Now everyone's miserable." He nodded, guilt etched into every line of his face. "You have every right to hate me. But someday I hope you'll want to know me." Then he left, leaving behind only silence, and the faint smell of his cologne, hauntingly familiar. That night I sat in the kitchen again, staring at the empty seat where my father used to sit. My mother came in quietly, her eyes red and hollow. "Do you hate me?" she asked. I didn't answer right away. The easy thing would have been yes. But beneath the anger, the grief, the betrayal, there was something worse. "Pity." "No," I said finally. "I just don't know who you are anymore." She nodded slowly, tears falling again. I looked at the family photo on the counter, our smiles frozen in time, our lies hidden behind them, and I realized something brutal. Betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes wrapped in love, disguised as family. And when it does, it doesn't just break your trust. Changes who you are forever.